Hello everyone and welcome to Scared to Death for Fun. My name is Brendan and I am still the host here. No one has kicked me out, so yes. Welcome to the channel, and today I'm talking about another new horror movie. I'm talking about the American remake of Speak No Evil. That came out this past weekend. As recording this, it is Sunday and I saw it last night. This film has gotten a lot of good reviews, and like I mentioned a second ago, this is an American remake of a Danish film, which, going into it, I did not know that. So I probably could have seen this movie a bit earlier, but if I'm being completely honest, I was not thrilled about seeing this film. If you've watched a horror movie at all this year in theaters, you've probably seen the trailer for it. I feel like I've been seeing this trailer since I saw Abigail in like April. Yeah, from seeing the trailer, I wasn't that stoked to see it. It looked decent. It didn't look bad. But nothing about the trailer was really grabbing me. Nothing was really making me like chomp at the bit to have to see this. The only draw for me was that James McAvoy was in it, and I think he is a very talented actor. He's very good. Once it got closer to the release date, I heard people talking about this movie being a remake, which I did not know. I have not seen the original Danish film. And once people were starting to see the film, it has gotten a lot of good reviews. What do I think of this film? It was okay. It was good. I had a good time watching it, but I didn't love it. Just from a blanket statement, I'm probably going to end up talking about spoilers. But like what happens with most films nowadays, I feel like a lot of it was spoiled in the trailer, so let that be what it will. And that gets into my first criticism. I feel a lot of what happens is in the trailer. In the film, if I'm being honest, 3/4 of it is just like an elongated, slightly more detailed version of the trailer. I have said this in reviews in the past. I understand that movies maybe need to grab an audience and like pull them in, but you gotta leave something, because I think a big twist in the film is supposed to be that this boy has his tongue cut out from the family, but we know that from the trailer. Like, it's alluded very heavily through the trailer that this boy had his tongue cut out. So I think that trailers giving away too much is, in general, across the board, an issue when it comes to just the film industry. It's not specifically to horror movies or Blumhouse, because this is a Blumhouse film, to Blumhouse or horror movies specifically. I feel like this movie had a very glaring issue with that, because that was the whole story, is like seeing these two families interact, and a lot of the conflict for most of the film is this family wondering, is something really wrong with this family? However, to give a positive, I think that the last like 20 minutes were very good. They were very well made, and it does all culminate in all of the American family and the little boy that got his tongue cut out all escaping. And I just thought that whole sequence, all of the action, all of the tension was good. Now, however, I will say, this film is based on a Danish film, and I did not see the Danish film. However, I did look up a synopsis of it, because I've heard a lot of people comparing the two. Based on my personal preference, from what I read from the Danish film, I personally feel I would have liked that film better, because in the Danish film, a lot of it seems to play out the same way. The family that are like the psychopaths and killing people actually end up winning. They end up taking the daughter from this new family, the outside family, and then killing the parents. And not that I wasn't rooting for the American family in the remake, I just feel like having the villains win would have made more sense, because the American family in this remake had so many opportunities to leave. One time they literally are driving on the road and their daughter has anxiety. I get it. I have family members that have anxiety. I have lived with anxiety disorders very up close. She has this attachment to this bunny, okay, this girl in the film. They leave and she forgot the bunny and they turn back to get the bunny. And then, this is also the same from the original and the remake. The reasoning that these psychopaths are like killing people, their reasoning is because you let us. Like, okay, because y'all did come back. They left, I think, like 3 times. At least twice. They left once, and then they forgot the bunny. That was like the farthest they got. And then they tried to leave one time, but then he had like slashed the tire, but then he fixed the tire, and then they had another chance to leave, but they threw the boy into the lake. They had multiple chances to get out, and they just didn't. So, as someone who likes a horror movie, if you've been given that many chances, I'm sorry. It's your time, and you need to cut it. After I read the synopsis of the original film, I was not disappointed in the American remake, but I don't know. Sometimes I like a tragic ending. I like a good, wholesome, good ending, but I like that when it's deserved. And I think that there are time and places for tragic endings and time and places for like more positive, heartfelt, loving endings. I wouldn't have been upset with a tragic ending in this story because the family had many opportunities to leave. I would have been like, sorry girl, you're not going to get your bunny. We have to go. We're going to get you therapy instead of this rabbit. We need to go. I've just realized that a lot of American movies and Western movies have to keep American people alive in their films, and they have to have them be the heroes. And I'm not saying that that was necessarily the decision that was made and why the American family was kept alive instead of killing them off, but I'm not saying that that's not why they were kept alive in the American remake. So, the last big criticism that I think I have of this film is it didn't feel like it fully dove into its messages, in a sense. Maybe I should watch the original because I've heard, and from what I read, it seems like there is maybe more of a through line on what the messages were. I look at movies very analytically at times. I look for a lot of themes and plot and just character stories, character arcs when I watch movies. That's like something I always just am drawn to when I watch film. And it felt like there were a lot of hints at themes and scenarios in this film, but none of them were ever fully fleshed out. None of them were ever fully expressed. It doesn't take away from the enjoyment of this film. Like I've said, I feel like I need to really just annoyingly and really pound home that this was an enjoyable film to watch. It was good. It was not a bad film by any means. Everybody did a good job. It was very well made, which for Blumhouse, we're gonna take what we can get. But yeah, I felt like when the American family first visited this UK family, I thought that there was like some sexual aspect of it because James McAvoy had really not sexually tense moments with the parents, but he was making weird passes sometimes to both, to the man and the wife. So I was like, oh, could be an avenue that we went down, but that was never touched on again. The biggest message that I could extract from this film is about parenting and different styles of parenting. Even before this American couple goes to the UK's couple's house, they're having some disagreements with how they are bringing up their daughter. The dad wants her to get rid of this anxiety bunny that she has. The wife is very caring and nurturing, is like, it's fine, like, just let her be, like, she's only 12, whatever. So they're already kind of discussing, like, how they're parenting, the difference between, like, just the two of them. And then when we introduce this psychopathic family, they are clearly very abusive to their kid. Their kid doesn't even speak. The dad acts up out of turn. They even start parenting the American family's kid. So I feel like the biggest message that I could extract from it was the difference between being a very kind, almost friend-like parent, a very nurturing parent, versus a more stern, straight abusive parent. So that was what I was taking away from it. Again, this is my like crazy brain just always trying to pick apart a theme and see what the movie's trying to tell us. Very loose. Like I said, it's not message heavy film, and I guess not every film has to have a message. But I almost was like, the last movie that I saw in theaters was The Front Room, and I did a whole review on that, and I felt like that was almost too message heavy and didn't have enough action and things happening. And in contrast, I feel like this film almost just had so much plot happen that wasn't necessary. Like, they go out to lunch, they cliff dive, they go hunting, they like are just driving around, they go out to eat to this place, and it gives some insight into the characters themselves, like the psychopathic characters and the American characters, but it doesn't feel like it amounts to any pinnacle message, pinnacle points in the plot, because once the psychopaths reveal their true intentions, the tone kind of shifts from what the movie was before. So it felt like there was messages they were trying to hint at. They were just trying to build these characters and this world, but then they completely change, in my opinion, they change the motives in the world when it gets to like the last 20 minutes, when the psychopaths are then just trying to kill the American family. And that, another thing, me and my friend debriefed about this movie after we saw it, and the only thing that we both agreed on is, as well, there wasn't a clear reason to why the psychopaths were doing it. Now, I did mention earlier, in the original film and in this American remake, the outside family does ask, like, why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this? And the dad says, because you let us. So their reasoning is like, oh, because you just let us do it. You're such like pushovers. You're such, you don't stand up for yourself. You're not being honest. But in this American remake, that reason doesn't work out so well. Again, and maybe that reasoning works better in the original film, but there are multiple times when they try to leave, and I guess it's supposed to speak on the fact that they did keep coming back to get the money for their daughter and to really just try to keep up the facade that everything was fine and keep their pure intentions and their pure ways. I feel like they added and maybe changed so much stuff that it was kind of just like, okay, what are we doing? Like, that doesn't really, I don't know, I wanted more reasons as to why. How did they start just kidnapping these families and killing them and keeping their kids? Like, when did the cycle start? And do they just do it all the time? Do they get bored with, like, the kids and then they just look for another parents? Like, none of that is ever explained. It's kind of just like, oh yeah, this is just what we do. And I guess maybe that makes them more evil, but I don't know, if you're gonna build up the personalities of these characters so much, I just would have liked a little bit of a backstory. So that's just a personal preference, I guess. I think it could have done more. It could have devolved more. But I think that is a personal preference. And if you do love this film, I completely understand it. My friend likes it a lot more than I do. But yeah, I think that it was okay. I don't regret seeing it. I think part of the reason I'm so confused about it is because it did feel like I was just watching an elongated version of the trailer, and I don't know, that makes me feel some kind of way. I don't know. I'm just very critical. I'm very critical of a lot of movies, so I don't know. That is what it is. Have you seen Speak No Evil? If you disagree with me or agree, whatever, just comment down below and let me know. I can completely understand if you like this movie. It's nothing against you. Like, trust me. I think it was very well acted, very well made. So comment down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know any other horror movies you're excited for this year. Next week, or this coming week, the movie with Halle Berry comes out. Never Let Go. I am very excited for that movie. I am going to see that. I also think The Substance comes out this week. I might see both of them at the same time. I think both of them are probably really good. So, yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.